What's up, guys and gals, and welcome to Veve Vibes. And today we're going to do a quick vibe check on the market. Today is a little bit later than normal. I actually took today off of work. I ran a few errands this morning, so it is about 11:30 Pacific Standard Time here on September 26th. So just a couple hours after the Iron Man #1 comic drop here on Veve. So we'll take a look at that. Take a look at a few other things as well. I'll also be streaming a little bit later today, and then I might be making a video either later today or early tomorrow morning, talking about kind of my game plan going forward for these kind of like pre-scheduled airdrops like Hulk, pencils, things like that, because there's some very interesting things happening in the market, especially when it comes to the Hulk and pencils. So we'll go ahead and take a look at those. So we'll go ahead and pop this up here. First thing we'll do, we'll look at the fiche. So fiche, it says all-time highs here, but these things were at a much higher price when they originally dropped. But I do think the battle fiche, this kind of like black one by I think it's Fabrics. I think that's how you pronounce it. I think it got as low as like 12 gems at one point, so it looks like it's up to 15. We got some other ones here. So the uncommon is at 18. The rare is at basically 27, and then right now the ultra rare is at about 107. Actually, let's go ahead and take a look at the live market here, see what it's actually doing. 15, so that seems about right. The ultra rare 107. Okay, so these prices are pretty accurate. Sometimes this my NFT tracker, sometimes it's off by a little bit, or if there's a lot of market movement in a short amount of time, these prices can be steadily out of date. And again, the Black Widow nesting dolls at a all-time low, below retail at this point, 21 gems. I'm kind of curious to see. Let's look at the store real quick and just see how many are still in the market. Yeah, as of right now, looks like about 400 of these sold. I know some people like these. I wasn't a huge fan of these like nesting dolls or anything like that. A lot of people were. That was probably the very first like very kind of like out of left field drop that I think we've had in a while from Veve, where it's like a new medium, but it's I would have been really upset if that was the FA, which it's not. So that's good. We'll take a look at the Hulks. Now, this is a very telling story. Ever since the airdrop announcement from Veve just the other day about the Hulks, these prices have done nothing but absolutely plummet. So if we look across the board here, the classic FA original Hulk here is down almost 25%, so it's 24%. Right now it's at box price, actually below box price. It's at 45 gems. Maestro is at 25 gems, so that one's also dipped down 16%. The Red Hulk is down 28%, so almost 30% ever since the announcement. This thing was already bleeding out a little bit. Even before the announcement, I think this thing was going down pretty steady. It's hard to believe that Red Hulk at one point was pushing almost 200 gems, and this was before the Planet Hulk was announcannounced. For some strange reason, it just really rode up, and I'm not sure if because the Planet Hulk didn't have the, everyone thought it was going to have the 1,111 mint for the drop, but it was actually much higher. So I'm not sure why that affected the Red Hulk pricing. And then right now, Planet Hulk has absolutely nosedived, pushing 170 or like 160 at one point. So it was, yeah, just before the announcement is at about 184, and right now it is at 120. So right now it is down, let's see, back, yeah, so right now it's down 35%. So this thing is absolutely nosedived. I'm not sure if people actually got a couple sets of these, or maybe they stacked an extra Planet Hulk or Red Hulk and just kind of waited for the announcement, and that's when their decision was to floor it. But this is a game that's just been kind of been going on for quite some time, whether it's the Hulks or the pencils. I think right now just the general sentiment of the digital space, just the actual market in real life, and on top of that, there's just not a lot of people in the digital, space. Not a lot of people know about digital NFTs or Veve or anything like that. So right now the space is, including myself, we've kind of shifted more towards flippers, and people, I've been watching my collectible stream and a few other people as well, and some people are upset, there's too many flippers, this and that. I think people have started to kind of become flippers. Even people that are hardcore collectors, or they're really big fans of this or that, they're not immune to the feeling of just watching their their collection just completely bleed out from day one. They landed on drop. This is a great feeling, and it just feels like a lot of time, if you don't sell it immediately, you're just bleeding out just money. So at some point, some people have even made the idea, and I've done it too, where it's like, all right, I'm gonna land the drop, I'm gonna sell it immediately, wait a week, 2 weeks. I know for a fact that, not for a fact, but I know the price is gonna dip just because the general sentiment. I feel like unless the drop is basically a grail, like I'm talking Miles Morales level hyper grail, just huge deal, it just seems like the price has done nothing but just kind of bleed out for the most part. So And same thing with these pencils. So as of yesterday, pencils right now, Lion King is down. It's down 13%. Frozen pencil is down 8%. Wreck-It Ralph is 11%. And then the Tinkerbell pencil is also down 5%. So going from left to right, Tinkerbell, so it's 18, 15, 17, and then 40 for the Wreck-It Ralph pencils. I do feel like there could be a few whales holding the bag on these Wreck-It Ralph pencils, because I do believe these pencils, and I'm sure this graph might not exactly track it, but there's been a couple of times where this thing was pushing up to like 70 gems. So I'm not sure if there's a lot of whales that kind of bought between the 50 to 70 gem range in order to kind of limit the supply for the desk. But at this point, when that Aladdin pencil drops, I do think people are going to floor it. Again, people want profit nowadays. It's very, very hard to actually generate gems or kind of make an, quote unquote, not so necessarily an income, but just kind of make a profit in general on gems, because I think everyone's just kind of waiting for that next big drop. It does seem like, a few times a year, Veve just drops something that's absolutely huge. It's no question a grail. If you land it, it's great. It's no question going to do nothing but go up. So I'm not sure if that's what everyone's kind of waiting for or what the deal is. But right now, people just don't have a good feeling of just slowly watching their digital collection just kind of bleed out from day one. So like I said, there could be people that are huge, X-Men fans, Batman, Spider-Man, whatever. But they're not a huge fan of watching their stuff just kind of just slowly, go down in price. So let's go ahead and take a look at some common comics. I don't think Iron Man, let's just go ahead and just look at the Iron Man live here. So the Iron Man, let me actually refresh the page, make sure it's updated. Make sure these listings are updated if my internet wants to work. Let's do another refresh. There it goes. All right, so it did update a bit. So right now, Iron Man common is actually just shy of box price right now. So it's just below 7. Uncommon is just below 5. The rare is about 10.5 gems, so it's just shy of 11. Ultra rare is actually going up a bit. I could have sworn this was selling for just about 27, maybe 26 gems for a very brief period of time, but right now it's pushing 30 gems. I do like the ultra rare cover a lot. I actually do like the ultra rare cover quite a bit. I was contemplating buying it, but again, given enough time, I do think the market's going to keep retracing back. So. And the ultra rare here is at about 150, so we have one listing for 145, so I'd consider that 150 at this point. Let's go ahead and jump back here. Let's look at the common comics. Let's go ahead and take a look at just the 24-hour trend on those. So the ones that are up a lot right now, interestingly enough, is actually Iron Man, and I think this is the first appearance of I'm trying to remember who that's the first appearance of. Yeah, man, this price really catapulted up. Maybe it's just because it says total listings now is up to 300. Maybe the price just got very thin. I almost want to look this one up. I'm not sure if it's just an error. 118. Iron Man 118. What's going on here? That 2 gems. I think it's just an error with the listing. Okay, so the first appearance of James Rhodes, so Rhodey, essentially. Yeah, not sure what's going on there, but it says the price has gone up like 225%, which doesn't make sense. Incredible Hulk is up a bit, so it went up about 1.5 gems, so that's about 46%. So right now it's sitting at 4 gems. Avengers 181, that is the first appearance of Hank Pym, I believe, but not as Ant-Man, but it's like just Hank Pym, I believe. Man, it's gonna kill me. One thing I will say about my NFT tracker, I really hope they add a first appearance kind of like, especially for comics, I would love to know if, like, what the first appearance is of. Like, I feel like I have to kind of switch back and forth. I forgot there's also a button here on very, very, very helpful on the actual My NFT tracker. Like, if you guys didn't know, but in this top right corner, it says Veve Market Listings. If you click that button, if you're logged into Veve, it'll take you right to that listing right away. So that's what we're looking at right here. Scott Lang. What am I saying? I forgot what I said before. So Scott Lang. First appearance of him, so not as Ant-Man. Yeah, 280 for the common. This one's actually gone up quite a bit, probably just because the floors were getting so thin. There was a lot of 2.5 gem listings, so it might have gone up quite a bit. So let's go ahead and go back. Take a look at a few more here. Let's stick with the comics. thing. Amazing Spider-Man 252. I think a lot of people just kind of delisted and relisted these Spider-Man 252s. There might have been a few people that actually bought these. I do believe this is because of the recent kind of like fan-made or kind of community-made awards for the comics. Let me actually see if I can find that announcement here on the Veve official Twitter, where you vote for the comic winners for the community. There's like the top 10 comics. And how far back is this? I think it's that far. Apologize. This is a little bit different than like a typical market stream. Oh, well, you know what I mean. Actually, it's right here. Here we go. Let me just show you guys very, very quickly. This is the announcement, and there was a lot of variant covers that I think people liked. So I just think I've kind of noticed the price of some of these comics that are shown here. So like Amazing Spider-Man 252, Spider-Man 121, you know, Avengers 47. Some of these prices actually upticked a little bit because people look at the covers and like, oh, these actually do look really good. Maybe I should go buy one while it's cheap. So I do notice like a general uptick across the board, not only for the ultra rares, but also for like the commons and rares and whatever other variants of those comics as well. So I do have noticed a very slight uptick for these comics right here. And I was actually surprised. There were some very good artists, and I'm trying to remember her name. It's like Gerbaldi or something like that. I forgot her name, but like I'm not sure if it's her, but it's one of, I know it's one of the female artists, but she made like 4 of like the top 10, which is crazy. And I do actually like her art quite a bit. There's like a Gwen Stacy one. I think it's the first appearance of Gwen Stacy, the death of her, and there's another one for the Spider-Man Noir. And I thought she did another one too. Maybe it's also this all new Marvel. I'm not entirely sure. That might be someone else, but covers look absolutely amazing. I already did my vote. If you haven't done it already, go ahead and vote for those. Okay, so back to the market updates. Rogue is actually up about 26%. It went up about a gem or so. This was selling for about 3 gems. I think I did pick one up at 3 gems when it was about down here, like 3.3 gems. I just bought one. Didn't want to go too crazy. It's one of those things where I don't want to start, you know, necessarily sweeping the floor for stuff. Like I could buy like 5 or 6, but that would cause the price to go up a lot. Then people start flooring those, and then people start barely undercutting each other. I kind of like watching comics kind of like slowly bleed out, and I just kind of buy one at a time rather than kind of skyrocketing the floor. Now there's a ton of listings that get piled on just below that, and they're all just, you know, a tenth of a gem away from each other in price, and those listings aren't going to disappear for 30 days. So that's just kind of been my plan for the most part when it comes to goes to like slowly stacking things for the most part. Let's go ahead and see what's bleeding out the most for comics. First appearance of Cable. I've always liked the character in the cartoon, but there is quite a few mints. I know he's not the most popular character. I do love the cover. Might grab up a couple more of these, but I've kind of shifted my attention more towards either buying just X-Men stuff. I do not mind stacking X-Men stuff, but I do want to start buying some more either higher tier or just like Grail status comics for the most part. Not going to make a move anytime soon because, again, I do personally believe, I do think the market's going to continually go down, up and even through Christmas for the most part, unless there's a Santa rally of some sort coming around. But yeah, Death of Phoenix is all the way down, all-time low, down to a gem and a half. First appearance of Gambit is also down to about 2 gems. We also got Quicksilver as well as Scarlet Witch. They are down to, wow, 6 gems. Is that true? They're back to box price. I remember this is one of the first comics. I think this is one of the first like 10 comics Veve ever released. And yeah, the prices were sitting at about 8 gems for a while, and there's a huge fall off here. I'm kind of curious what happened there. Getting X-Men before. Find this. It really at 7 gems. Okay, I guess there's a single listing, and that's what's kind of hard looking at the floor prices of this stuff, where it's like, all right, is this what the actual price is, or is it just a single listing? People are just trying to hard undercut in order to get rid of it and trying to free up some liquidity from themselves. That's why it's always kind of hard to see what's actually down. You know, is it just one person listing it, and now the floor is, oh my god, this is down 40%, or is it just one person? Same thing here. First appearance of Rocket Raccoon and a few others. So I do like these covers. And the commons, yeah, they're just kind of slowly bleeding out. Market is going down. You know, there's not much of an update going on here. Let's take a look at the collectibles and see what is going up. Collectibles. We got is it M'Baku? And I'll be honest, I have not watched Black Panther. I'm not too sure. I've seen that character, but I haven't seen it yet. So he's actually up quite a bit right now, about 2 gems or so. Give me 1 second here. He's up about 2 gems right now. So right now he's about a little over 7. Loki, I do think Loki was kind of a sleeper one for a while. I do think people were kind of sleeping on Loki. Right now he's up to 17 gems, but I mean, people forget this is the first appearance of Loki, probably one of the most popular villains on Marvel, right? Probably one of the most iconic ones in Marvel. So Yoda lightsabers, they actually did a bit of a rebound. They skyrocketed up, then they kind of retraced a bit. Now they're going back up again. As we can see here, maybe we should just look at the 7-day, because this pretty much all happened within the last month or so. So yeah, this thing absolutely just skyrocketed. Apparently someone bought like 130 Yoda lightsabers, and then it went down, then people relisted some more. So obviously take advantage of those profits. Actually, let's go back here twice. Whoops. Yeah, there's also a few kind of random like independent artists, some other smaller things too that are up, you know, a couple gems here and there. We're kind of getting to the point now in the market where pretty much if something goes up 1 or 2 gems, or if there's just like really thin floor prices, if one thing gets bought up, sometimes prices are just, they go up 10, 20, 30% because a singular thing was bought. But right now, yeah, Bubbles is up about 11%, going for 950. Elsa's at about 125 right now, so she actually went up a tiny bit because the floor is pretty thin. And Todd McFarlane Batman, so first appearance of Batman, not for just, you know, it's on the blockchain on Veve, as well as just the first Batman on Veve as well, first NFT on Veve. That one is sitting at 620 gems right now. And again, Spider-Man comment, I do need to pick this up again. I might make a video just talking about NFTs I do want to buy eventually. For me personally, it's a lot of the marketing material that Veve did a long time ago. So if you guys remember, on the login screen you would see Spider-Man, on another login screen you would see that Batman that was like sliding. I don't know if it was on the login screen, but it was definitely on one of the websites or something like that. It was like, I call it crotch shot Batman, where he's like sliding. Let me see if I can find it on here so I can show you guys which one I'm talking about. What do I have it here? Why is it only showing a hand? Oh, it's because it's common. I think it's actually an uncommon. Yeah, it's this Batman right here. I remember Veve actually had this as like a marketing material thing. It was like over like a cell phone or something like that. It was like very, very early stuff. I mean, I'm talking like 2021 when Veve had that. And there's some other NFTs too that I want to pick up that are either on the login screen or that Veve's used previously as like kind of just, you know, marketing material that I do want to pick up and own, because I do think it's pretty historical and pretty cool for the most part. So I think that's all we're going to cover today. The video's already getting a little bit long at 18 minutes. I know it's kind of scattered a bit here, but I'm doing a live stream later today, as well as another video probably talking about my plan going forward when it comes to these scheduled airdrops. The long story short of it, I really think in order for airdrops to be really worth it and or profitable from now on, is to basically make them surprise airdrops, or really, really, really lower the amount of mints that is needed for these airdrops. So if these Hulks, if they had half the mints now, I do think the Hulk airdrops and the Hulks themselves would be able to preserve their value a bit more. But the fact that just the current market sentiment, you know, when you were having 4,000, 3,000, you know, even 2,000 Hulks does seem like quite a bit. But if we cut those mint numbers by half, but still pre-announced it, I do think they would do fairly well. But because everything is pre-announced, I think everyone's pretty much gaming the system. So I don't know, kind of wish Veve would go back to kind of unannounced airdrops. That was a lot of fun. I remember having a couple of those in the past. But yeah, that's it. Well, thanks for watching. Please tune into my stream and take care. Please double and triple check all of your listings so you don't screw yourself over, and I'll catch you guys next time.